Hi, this is Jeff Pospisil, the 10-Minute Treasurer with practical advice for improving your church's financial future. In this video, what I want to talk about is, does the church need a car? And um, First of all, I think if any church should be happy to have a car. If you're going to donate a car to it, and even if they're just going to sell it and get the money from it, that should be fine. I mean, sometimes they may not like the hassle of it, but of having to sell it, but still they should be appreciative of receiving a car, even if they're just going to sell it. But I want to talk about it something a little different. What if you are donating the car for the pastor to use? You're handing the car over and you want the pastor to use that car. So if this is something new to your church, first of all, you want to talk with your pastor, make sure they would feel comfortable and safe in that car, especially if they're going to put in extra miles in it. Would they feel comfortable? Would they feel safe with it? Um, if this is something new to your church, that's when it makes the most difference. If, for example, you've been doing this for years, the church has had um, a vehicle that has always been donated, and a new pastor comes in, they won't know any different. They'll just assume, oh, this is the church-owned vehicle. But let's just say it's something new. So you do want to make sure that it would be an appreciated gift, that the pastor would feel comfortable and safe in that vehicle. The most sense. It doesn't make sense really if you're a one-point charge and you don't put on a whole lot of miles. I mean, maybe the only miles you put on is going to annual conference, basically. Um, but if you put on a lot of miles, you're a 2 or a 3-point charge, you're putting on 50 to 100 miles on a Sunday. You know what? That does make a lot more sense in my mind anyway, of why you would give a car to a church with the intent of them keeping it and using it as a business vehicle. So why don't we get into how it actually works to be a huge a benefit. I mean, there is a benefit first of all for the donor. The donor gets a charitable contribution, if and it can be a huge benefit for the church. And let me show you the math. So I believe in the math. So first of all, um, I look at, let's say if you are normally reimbursing mileage, what does that look like first? If you're a 3-point charge and you put on 100 miles on a Sunday, and you put on maybe another 100 miles during the week, and maybe take a couple weekends off, you can easily rack up 10,000 miles. And that's reimbursed at the IRS mileage rate, which is currently 57.5 cents per mile, and it's been fairly steady around that 57, 58 range for a while. And that math is pretty easy there. It will cost you $5,750 for those miles. Okay, what's the alternative with a church-owned vehicle? One that's donated. Math is different if the church is buying the vehicle, but if it's donated, what does that look like? So you start with that 10,000 miles again, but now you have to worry about the gas you're buying and not the mileage reimbursement. So let's just say you're getting 30 miles per gallon. That's not great gas mileage, but it's not poor gas mileage. So 30 miles per gallon, and so 10,000 divided by 30 equals 333.33 gallons. And then you have to guess what the price per gallon is. And I'm actually rounding way up. I'm at $2.75 per gallon. I think currently gas is right around $2.30 in Mitchell, South Dakota in February. So math there, $916.67 is what that'll cost you for the gas. But there's other costs too. So let's just say it costs you another $200 for the registration and a $200 for liability insurance. I say liability because, this is likely an older vehicle. I would not put comprehensive on there. I mean, if it really gets whacked, it gets in an accident, guess what? I'm totaling it. I'm done with it. So I don't need to invest X number of dollars into the premium, and you'll invest more in insurance than will be the value of the car. So let's just say $200 for liability insurance, $200 for registration, and you get 4 oil changes at the most expensive place in town. So it costs you $100 per oil change. So now you're up to $800. So that brings you to $1,716, and then you add in something for maintenance. Um, I drive older vehicles. Normally, my maintenance runs uh, anywhere between 1,000 to maybe as high as 2,000, depending on what goes out. So even there, you're significantly less. You're saving close to $2,000 to $3,000 with a church-owned vehicle versus reimbursing mileage. So that to me seems like a huge savings, $2,000 to $3,000. And again, if the car craps out on you or there's an accident, you go back to reimbursing mileage. But while you own that car, you're going to be saving money. It's going to be costing you about half as much as what it would be to reimburse mileage. So a lot of good things to that. Some thoughts about actually donating it. First of all, make sure you sign the title over to the church, not to the pastor, and sign it over to the church. That way you can get the charitable contribution for tax purposes. So just don't lend it. Actually go through the paperwork, sign it over to the church. Thing is, the church, they need to acknowledge gifts. First of all, they should thank you, of course, but they should acknowledge it. And I think you have to fill out a 1098-C, and that's just asking the basic information. What's the when did you receive it? The make and model. I think the VIN number's on there, the mileage is on there, all that good stuff. So fill that out. The church fills that out, sends it to the donor, and then I think they also have to complete something for the actually send into the IRS too. And if you're uncomfortable with this, spend $100 on a CPA, have them do it for you, and that would also probably work. And that's really it. I mean, again, I think in my mind, it's a good gift. I've had somebody give the conference office a vehicle, and I remember driving it for 4 years. And I did the math on it. We drove it about 10,000 miles per year, and we saved $15,000. And actually, probably it was different than that, because I put on more miles than I normally would have put on, because I knew it was cheaper to do it. And a lot of your pastors are the same way. They want the ministry to prosper. They don't, so they'll watch their mileage. They'll try to be good stewards. So how can we help them even be a better steward? So that's why I like the idea of donating a safe, reliable vehicle for the pastor to use in a circuit. So again, this is a ministry of the Finance Office and the Dakotas United Methodist Foundation. And you can find more resources at www.dakotasumc.org. Feel free to like and subscribe if that fits your need. And also subscribe for our email at jctaccounting.com. That's just a quick, easy blog that I put together just for that purpose, actually, for the most part. And again, we're all about Jesus Christ, the important mission of making disciples of Jesus Christ, and about being connected like a family. All right, till next time.